Welcome to Global Village. This is Ahmed Kassim, your host of the program. We are very honored again to have Tracy Rahas from SPEC, and as always, our great Reeve, Molly Douglas of County of Newell, and very honored to have her. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
Molly, would you be able to give us a brief background of the county in general?
Sure. We celebrated 60 years last spring, right around this time, in fact, and moved into our new building, which is just south of the Centennial Regional Arena in Brooks, out in the county, which is important. We've moved out of the city of Brooks, and the County of Newell has 10 councillors, and each year at organizational meeting they choose their Reeve from that group of 10. And last October 2013, when we had our fall elections for a 4-year term now, we had 5 new people come to council, so half of our council is new this year. We have a large council. The County of Newell is a very large, open, and rather sparsely populated county. Our rural population is about 7,000 when you take in the other communities, the city of Brooks, the town of Bazzano, and we only have 2 villages left now, Rosemary and Dutchess, because Tilley dissolved and became part of the county. That was an event that happened at the end of August last year. So you take all of those populations together, we have around 20 to 22,000. It varies depending on who takes the census. We depend on agriculture and tourism, and certainly the energy industry, oil and gas, to keep the wheels of the county moving. And we are extremely blessed because we have a wonderful taxation base, and with that we are able to provide, I think, very quality services to our residents and to do some really good things with our municipalities, with partnerships, our municipalities within.
So sometimes people get confused, Brooks and County of Newell, especially the new Canadians. For example, JBS is not in Brooks. They are out of Brooks area, so they are part of the county.
Yes, they are taxpayers of the County of Newell. However, their involvement with Brooks is huge because the majority of their employees, of course, live in the city of Brooks. And so the city of Brooks in the last decade and a half probably have been quite busy providing services, housing, recreation, health, all of those needs because of the growth of the population. And together, I think the city of Brooks and the County of Newell are extremely pleased that we have JBS in our communities. And it's not too long ago, just over a big year ago, that we wondered if the meatpacking industry in our area would survive because of the E. coli breakout, which was highly overdone, but that's a whole other story. Anyhow, JBS has been a welcome employer in our communities. We're pleased with their involvement and their openness to interact with us and become involved with us. And actually, we've been working on, with the city of Brooks, the temporary foreign worker program is of concern right now because federally there has been a bit of a stop to new temporary foreign workers in the service industry, like the waiters, waitresses.
Food industry.
Food industry, that's right, Ahmed. So, yes, anyhow, that's a little bit about JBS.
Yep, thank you very much. Tracy, coming back to the Brooks and County of Newell, the lot of the issues that are relevant to the area now, it seems domestic violence, especially from, according to the police, and they created a prevention method of before it happened, which is good, which I believe Kathy is heading that prevention. if I'm not mistaken, she is the coordinator of the they call prevention of uh, to prevent things or to intervene domestic violence stuff. Um, why, in your own opinion, you think it's increasing because of the culture, socially, in your own opinion?
I think there's a few things at play. I think certainly the willingness to talk about it. I think there's, I guess to start, there's education in schools about what's right for you as an individual, what's right for your family, and if things aren't right, to talk about it. So there's education and awareness going on in the schools, and being in a safe place. First and foremost, that's important, right? For kids and people who are at risk to be in a safe place. So, but in terms of prevention, yes, a lot of education going in the schools and through different programs that way. There's also a lot of partnerships being developed. SPEC is involved in one partnership. It's a Healthy Families Outreach Partnership. The SPEC Association for Children and Families works together with Life Talk Counseling and Cantera Safe House in a partnership for family violence for newcomers, Aboriginals, and supportive outreach for other citizens. But the DIVIT team is also very involved. If police in Brooks, the RCMP get a call, they can follow up with any call that relates to family violence and offer support. And I think we're seeing the increase in numbers because there's an increase in reporting, awareness and reporting and follow-up. And this DIVIT team is very successful because they follow up within, I think it's 24 hours, and offer services to the families who call in. And it makes sense for the RCMP because they're helping the families the first time they need help, not the 5th time, the 10th time, the 20th time the family calls, right? They're getting the help they need right away. And it's for everybody in the family. It's for the husband, the wife, the kids, the extended family who might be in the house. And they look at what factors are leading to the family violence. Is it the stress and unemployment? Is it stress in integrating into a new community? And they refer the family to different services in the community. The LINKS program at SPEC is one of those programs, and so if there's programs needed for parenting, for example, or finding extracurriculars for kids, maybe it's finding employment support for dad, we can make those links to the community agencies that need to support that family.
So the bottom line is prevention is education. So
Absolutely.
the more everyone respects the family, will grow prosperity and be strong. That's
And you know, it's a simple idea, the intervention team. You know, there's always been intervention, but it's been piecemeal.
yeah.
And, you know, big shout out to Staff Sergeant Tom McNulty, who has,
Absolutely.
you know, for us at council, sort of brought it all together. Simple idea. We just need to have a team rather than everybody doing their own little bit and no coordination. And I came from the school system, and to me it was like a eureka moment of, yes, you know, the police are often the first people on the scene, but there's a lot of other people involved, so let's pull them together. So awesome.
And that requires the immediate follow-up, right? And can we support you? And that follow-up phone call and knock at the door is critical. Call and when it's happening, right?
Yes.
And what led to this event happening, or what events led to somebody calling the police? How can we help? and what other agencies in the community can help, or businesses help support you. And the Divot team has experienced awesome support from agencies and businesses alike, and the city and the county as well, and it's getting better and better.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you're seeing maybe increased numbers, is because there's awareness. There's awareness and education and,
So
and
health,
support to deal with the calls.
there you go. So healthy community, healthy family, health community, strong community.
You bet.
That's. We are going to ask Molly the tough question, which is politics.
Oh,
Before I ask, I think my little one asked me to give all the guesses, which I have one for also Carol. I have too many things going, so I forget to give it to also Carol, but I'm glad she's here. So please choose whichever one
Thank you.
Yeah, Molly.
pick this one. It goes with my outfit today.
There you go. And I have one for Carol. That's she called Selma and Blana Craft Inc. She's planning to have her own business, and I said, well, we'll support you as long as you don't run fast, just slow. Make sure that you finish your books before you start doing this.
Right.
Yeah,
Homework first, right?
Yeah, your homework has to be done before you start doing that. But she said, yeah, could you please give the guest? I said, well, that's a promise, which is now it's
She's-
done.
She's got an entrepreneurial mind happening
Yes,
there
yes.
with, here's exposure. Everybody
Yeah.
sees our,
There you go. She said, I'm going to do a lot of this one is, and she's thinking of giving a percentage of that to African girls back in Africa.
oh, nice.
So she has some ideas which with her friends from the school.
Nice.
So I told her, go to the school, get your friends, sit and write it down. What you have the imagination and dream. Once you write, then you can achieve. Molly, the question is, we don't have MP. I believe Mr. Lavar Payne will be here in Medicine Hat, and Brooks will be in new ridings.
Right.
And I believe our friend Mr. Mayor Martin Shields had indication, and he is interested of running the MB. Could you just elaborate that?
You betcha. Yes, every so often there is a redistribution of ridings. And so our community, Brooks and the County of Newell, has been split off from the old Medicine Hat riding. And we now head west over to Chestermere. And I'm not quite sure how far north it goes, but there's communities like Acme for sure are involved. And MD of Tabor and the County of Vulcan over that way. And so there hasn't been an announcement yet when nominations will be accepted or called for, but the new riding is called Bow River, and so you're right, our current MP will be involved with the Medicine Hat riding, which of course has shifted boundaries as well, and so people are deciding if they would like to run for Member of Parliament in our new riding, and there has been a fair amount of pressure. There always is a fair amount of pressure brought on local politicians when there's opportunity at provincial and federal levels to run. Some people think that that's going up in the world of politics. My personal belief is municipal politics, local level, is where it's really at, because we get things done in a hurry compared to the provincial and federal levels, and I think we're closest to our constituents, so we are able to understand things very well. The further you get away from your people, I think the more complicated and more interesting, shall I say, I believe the job becomes. However, we are thrilled that Mayor Martin from Brooks has agreed to let us gather names, signatures for his nomination.
It's always advantage and a positive one that to have somebody from the local
Absolutely.
to represent our local to the federal in Ottawa.
You bet.
Yeah, and you guys did very well matching and giving now other communities to see what you did as a partnership, and it never had before prior to this engagement, I believe.
Isn't it an odd thing that it's such an event for people to get along and work together,
Yeah, it's amazing.
and that our communities belong to us all?
That
You
is
know, that
that
the
is
city of Brooks we need
yeah.
in the county of Newell, and, you know, the town of Bassano and Dutchess and Rosemary and our hamlets are all critical to all of us. You know, it's just it's a pretty simple concept. I guess it gets back to something like the domestic violence intervention team. Sometimes it's right there and people don't get it.
Yeah, yeah, and that is where the problem is. So to have to prevent things and intervene, I think will be common good for everybody in the community.
You bet.
A healthy community is also a strong community.
And one of the other things that is going on, and to celebrate getting along, I guess, is the Newell Regional Expo.
That is such a great
We are
thing.
celebrating our communities and our diversity and the partnerships within the Newell region, and that work continues with people from representing the different communities, meeting together and talking about how we can do that. And to date, it's involved tours, learning about each other's community and the resources within it, and celebrating that. We have dinners where a community will host another community and celebrate the people and the
Right.
activities and resources in it. So we're getting to know each other better, and that's going to pay dividends.
From Brooks to the county, right?
All of the communities.
All of the communities.
Oh, okay, so sometimes they come to Brooks and then Brooks will go to other
For
places.
example, Ahmed, the last celebration, community celebration, was in Bassano, honoring Dutchess. And that was a few months ago anyhow. Full house in the community hall in Bassano, celebrating another community. And so often in the past that there's been, you know, it hasn't been a celebration, it's been more of a pulling in and being afraid that if you know, support another community, that it will hurt your community. And I mean, we need to support all of our communities and work together and not see them as a challenge, but see them as something good. See us all working together. We need each other.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what they say. What's good for Bassano or Till is good for Brooks.
Absolutely.
Okay, and what's good for Jen is good for Rolling Hills.
You bet.
So all in one basket.
Yes.
That's how you do your economical growth. Coming back to Tracy, the SPEC Association would they also encourage the social activities in terms of, let's say, basketball, other the activities that the New Canadians love, like basketball is one, and one is soccer game. That's two things that they always. I know that one time you guys did hockey to show the New Canadians how to play hockey.
Absolutely. Our Links program helps to facilitate community need, and that can look very different depending on the people's needs and who we're talking about, but certainly that is part of our role. If there's a need in the community, we can bring together resources or other agencies. The example you're giving was how we brought together a group of New Canadians, mostly Latinos, who were wanting to learn how to skate. They wanted to enjoy a Canadian tradition and figure out how that's done. And so I worked with Kathy Irwin from the Grasslands Innovations Project, who was connected with Jumpstart, and we discovered a community development grant and were able to provide helmets and skates for over 90 kids, and worked with the Brooks Bandits in the city of Brooks in terms of ice times and facility use, and the Brooks Ringette Club and the Bandits worked on leading the kids and teaching them how to skate. So exciting opportunity.
That was a good program. The temporary foreign worker is extremely important for the benefit of the economic growth of the city of Brooks and county of Newell. And as you know, government is having now more restrictions and trying to limit that because of mistakes done by some corporates, which should not be the case of all corporates.
Right.
But it's called life. So probably, so what is the, would that affect the growth of the city and county, you think?
Yes, it is a concern. And we as mayors and reeves have been lobbying and doing what we can in Ottawa with Jason Kenney, who is the man in charge of that, to let them know that this just isn't a large city issue. And our concern is that at the present time it only affects one sector, the service industry type of sector, but those people are connected to other sectors, and so if somebody, you know, is unable to work in Canada, all of a sudden it affects a whole family. And JBS and all of the meatpacking industries across Western Canada have come together to lobby about it also. I think it's an opportunity to improve the program, but it's very needed, very needed. And it's, you know, it costs employers. They have to do a labor market opinion before they can go out and hire temporary foreign workers. And interestingly enough, we are doing an Ag Service Board tour throughout the county of Newell in July. And just this past Monday, we did a dry run of that tour and stopped in at the different places that we would be, that have volunteered or we've asked to visit. And there was an agricultural farming operation, and that, you know, they have hired foreign workers for 40 years. And they said, you know, it would be a huge effect if all of a sudden these foreign workers could not come in to work for them. As seasonal, some of them have become year-long, not just seasonal workers. So it's something that is affecting the city of Brooks, places, and I mean, you all know the restaurants where there's all sorts of temporary foreign workers there, and the food industry, and, you know, JBS, but also out in the county of Newell. I was at a Mayors and Reeves meeting last Friday. We hosted that, or it was hosted in Empress, which is a long ways away from big urban, sort of. But the mayor of Oyen and other local mayors said our hotel industry, you know, the service industry with tourism, very reliant on temporary foreign workers. So it's rural, it's urban, and it needs to be solved. And there's some politics at play in this one, and I don't know. I guess we have to just keep doing what we can do.
Yeah. When I and you were there when Minister Kenney visited Brooks that time. One of the things that when we came outside was, I thought in my own opinion that even if they want to change the program, they will change from temporary foreign worker to permanent foreign worker.
Yes,
Taking
it's a terrible name.
Yeah, taking the temporary out. So these people coming will feel they are at home.
Yes.
But not to maneuver in a way that will restrict more, and that will have a damage, and that will have a difficult for the economic growth of the business of the county.
Especially in Alberta, Ahmed. You know, we have such a low employment rate, and I mean, people move here to work, and we need workers.
Yeah, and
To
that's why
have that Alberta advantage, we need to have everyone in.
that's why we encourage people to come to see the cowboy area in Alberta. This will be the end of our program. Would you like to congratulate the school grads since you were principal?
Sure, sure. I was able to be at the Bassano grad, or they have sort of two parts. I was at their awards ceremony a couple Saturdays ago, and then I went to the Brooks Composite. So great to see them all. Congratulations, and go for it.
There you go. Tracy?
Congratulations, grads. You've accomplished lots, and follow your dreams is the best advice.
There you go. This will be the end of our Global Village show. Thank you very much, Tracy, as always. Thank you. And thank you very much, Molly.
Thank you for what you do, Ahmed.
Thank you very much, Madam. And we hope to see our next year MP in the area,
Yes.
your friend, and he's a great mayor.
Yes.
to be our next representative of the county and Brooks. We call our MB Martin Shields, so you never know. This will be the end of our Global Village program, and thank you very much for joining us. This is where you meet East and West in one show. I would like to take the opportunity again and thank County of Newell, City of Brooks, and Medicine Hat College for their continued support of the show. Until then, have a great day and God bless you all.